So we're after. And we're live. All right. Welcome to the news episode of Sports Talk Central. I'm your host, Deep Mood, with my normal co-host Hunter. And today we're going to be talking a lot about Major League Baseball. We're going to be Orioles, Nationals, some headlines, some other teams, and then we're going to talk Ravens, Steelers news, and then what we're going and then some Virginia Tech stuff as well. But what we're also going to do is we're going to do something interesting where we're not going to do a mock draft for each of our teams that of what we think will happen. Now, what we want to happen is we're going to try to do like a realistic mock draft, and we're going to keep we're going to keep score. But do keep in mind we do real it's not all going to be all the drafts. Like there's a bunch of trades and trade downs and trade ups. We're going to assume that the Ravens Steelers don't do this, and based on trends, we're going to try to predict it. So you want to talk a little bit about the you want to talk a little bit about the Nationals first?
Yeah, so things looked a little dire coming into this week, but they did have a nice series win against the Cardinals. I think Max Scherzer is showing everyone that he's still a top 5 pitcher in baseball. People thought he was washed and all that. I mean, guys, not even an ERA of 1 this season. I think it's like 0.86. So, people that, like I said, the people that think that like he's washed, you're wrong. They finished their series against the Cardinals, went 4-2 against them. Overall, 1-0. They had that 1-0 win against the Cardinals. Juan Soto went on the disabled list, but they're also only a game out of they're last place right now, but they're a game out of first. That just goes to show you how bad this division is. The leaders are the Mets and the Phillies. They're 1 game back of both of those teams. Even the Braves are not off to a hot start this season, but they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. That COVID stuff, I think, is basically gone. John Lester is going to be coming back soon, but I mean, it was nice to see Josh Bell get on the hit sheet a little bit. Josh Harrison's been really good. Most of the bullpen, I think, has been fine except for Tanner Rainey. His stuff has not been as good as it was last year. But I love how Max is pitching. Strasburg will probably be back sooner rather than later. Corbin had a nice outing. I didn't like that Davey pulled him a little too early. But, they ended up actually, I think they ended up winning the game, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was, 3-2. They had a comeback. In the 8th, 9th inning, they won 3-2 after getting blown out the night before. Had that off day, and now they have 3 against the Mets. They go up against DeGrom tonight, which is going to be pretty difficult, I would say. Then they have Stroman, and then they go up against Walker. Corbin goes Sunday, Ross tomorrow, and then Fetty tonight. So they don't have a lot of the big guns going this weekend, but this is still a series that's there for the taking. If they can just get decent pitching and timely hits. I mean, Kyle Schwarber's has been still good. It just sucks that Soto's on the IL right now, but I don't think it's going to be super long. So there's a little bit of hope, I guess. They're only a game out of first.
Despite 18 games so far.
Yeah, despite the rocky start. Like I said, they had that big series win against Lewis, who so far this year, they're also not as good. They've lost 7 of the last 10 games. But Washington, they've been doing better as of late. They've won 6 of their last 10, 2 in a row. I know the run differential is the worst in the division, but they're 1 game out of first. So it's still a bit early. But this is a big series against the Mets.
Yeah, no, I think you mentioned DeGrom for today. The good thing about going against DeGrom is that the Mets won't score more than 1 or 2 runs.
Mm-hmm.
So, because for some whatever reason, DeGrom pitches really well. It's just the Mets don't give him support whatsoever. I don't know why. Like I don't know if they don't like the guy or something, but they don't score many runs against him. Maybe it's the fact that he's their ace, so they probably go against the other team's number 1, and that kind of obviously makes sense. For the Orioles, the Texas Rangers, we won. We took 2 out of those 3. The first 2 starts, Lopez was we took 2 out of the 3, and then Sunday we lost, but John Means pitched a heck of a game. I think he had like 9 strikeouts in like 6 innings. 6 or 7 innings. It's just that Kyle Gibson was slightly better, and in the 10th, I want to say it was and then I believe it was Sean Armstrong. He, because of the extra innings rule, like he kind of loaded up the bases, and then I forgot who it was, but he had one of the Rangers hit single. Rangers win that game 1-0. So basically, a classic pitcher's duel, and then They had the chance. The Orioles had the chance to score, but then what happened was they hit a ball like a line drive to the right fielder, and then he gets thrown out. Like the guy at third gets thrown out to end the inning. But and then off day Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday we had a 2-game series against them, won 7-5. Strong start there, but then Matt Harvey gave up a few more runs. And then Sean Armstrong was like pinched in the corner. He was pinched in the corner. I think he had like 6 straight balls, and I think he walked someone on a 3-2 count. That was like literally the entire ball. Like you could tell that was in the strike zone. And then but Cesar Valdez comes in at the end with 4 out, 4 going 1 in the third shutout. We lost Wednesday 3-0. Pretty much Bruce Zimmerman gives up a 2-run. It was like I believe a 2-run double and a single RBI single by the Marlins in the 6th inning. We play Oakland, which is terrifying because they've won 11 straight.
Billy Bean, baby.
Yeah. I don't know if he's there anymore.
No, he is still there. I think he's still like executive vice president of baseball operations, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So basically, our schedule for the next week or so is we have a 3-game series against the A's at home, then a 4-game series against the Yankees, and then next week we're going out to Oakland for another 3-game series against the A's. So it's great that we're getting ahead. We're getting out of getting these 10 o'clock games a lot quicker. The Orioles don't do well at home for some whatever reason. I think they only have they're 1-6 at home, and then they're 1-6 at home. That makes them 7-4 on the road. So I don't think it's going to be tough. But I think that's really all for the Orioles. There are a few more stories we want to talk about. First one is the Yankees are 7-11, and then the Red Sox are 12-8. What are your thoughts on that?
That is weird, man. This has been such a weird season so far in baseball. Fact that just that whole division has not really been good though, right?
Like the fact that the Orioles have a chance to win that division, and then they haven't been eliminated yet. See how weak that division is.
Yeah, that's actually and the Yankees have been terrible too. So, it's not as bad as the NL East though. Both divisions stink, but like I said, the Nationals had that really bad start, and they're only a game out of first right now. It's like anyone's game.
Yeah, and then I think what was I saying? Like I mentioned, it's only 18 games so far, so that makes sense. What else was? And then with the Yankees, I'm not surprised because they have a right-handed heavy lineup, and they have a right-handed heavy lineup, and they focus too much on home runs. So it makes sense. Like a boomer bust offense is loaded on one side, like their offense isn't going to be that great. And speaking of remember Rognot Odor?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So you know how when in the Rangers he had that beard?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen a picture of him with the Yankees?
No, I don't think I want to.
He is a prime example of why the Yankees need to get rid of their dumb no facial hair policy. Because he looks like he's 21 years old.
Wound or door Yankees. Okay, I'm Googling this right now. Images. What the wait, dude, what? Dude, what is this?
That is Rognot Odor.
That does not look like him at all. He literally looks like he's not even eligible to drink alcohol yet.
Nope, that is Odor. Like that. So I don't like that. I'm not like to me. I was like, that's the reason I'm not that they should not have done that. That's why I'm not the policy. But let's talk about a guy who's really emerged, and that's Corbin Burns from the Milwaukee Brewers. He's the number 2 guy. He's not their ace. I believe that's Brandon Woodruff. He has a .37 ERA right now. He has had 4 starts, .37 ERA, 24.1 innings. But here's the thing. 40 strikeouts to start the season and 0 walks.
That's a K per walk ratio is off the charts right now.
Yep. And the thing I want to bring up, the reason I want to bring him up is because the record right now is 51 strikeouts without a walk, and that is Kenley Jansen in 2017.
Wow.
So basically, his next start is against the Marlins, and Marlins have 58 walks to 171 strikeouts, and he should get if he wants to break the record, that has to be the majority of these strikeouts, because the next start after that is against the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
So the history's going to end at least at the Dodgers. There's no way you go.
Likely, yes. The Dodgers will hit off you, and then they will walk off you too.
Yeah. So I would say that so I would say it's great because I remember him because I know in 2018 when with Machado deals, well, the trade discussions with Machado, Corbin Burns and Woodruff were that may have gotten Machado. The Woodruff or Burns were a couple of the pitchers that I actually wanted to, if they were to go and trade him to Milwaukee, I would have wanted someone like Corbin Burns or Brandon Woodruff to be like the centerpiece of that deal, like with the Dodgers with Dustin May. So that's where that's where he was familiar to me. Like I said, it's a very impressive start by him. It's very impressive, and then he right now might be the favorite for Cy Young. I mean, John Means has been really good. Some other guys have been good as well. So, well, that's where we'll end the baseball coverage, unless there's anything else that happened.
There's nothing really else that happened, especially with the Mets. They, like I said, big series win. They have the Mets, then they go to Toronto before coming home. So
that's gonna be Toronto's gonna be tough. So we'll go more into the Ravens and Steelers thing now aspect here. Was there anything with the Steelers that
just mainly draft stuff is what I
happened last week?
No, mainly just draft stuff. It sounds like they're locked with like 3 players. I've been reading reports. If he's there, Najee Harris is the guy. It sounds like is who they're going to take. There's also, I think, Landon Dickerson, who's a center, if I'm not mistaken.
Center from Alabama. The only issue with him, he has had 4 season-ending injuries in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think his tape is first-round level, but I think a lot of teams are scared of that injury stuff. But the Steelers, I think, are really high on him. Obviously, if it's a huge need, Pouncey retired, so it makes sense. And then there's another one that I saw. There's a tackle, I think, high on their list as well. In the first, it's not Darrisaw. It's
Jenkins.
I think that might be it. Yeah. I have to go through Twitter and check it out, but those are their 3. Those are their 3.
Tevin Jenkins. Yeah. No, I was gonna say that Tevin Jenkins is my most favorite non-Hokies prospect in this draft. I just like the way he plays right tackle.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they need a tackle. It's obviously still a big need with the team. I'm trying to find this tweet if I can. I thought it was from Blitzburg the other day. If I can well, I don't know why I have so many things on my Twitter. Anyways, yeah, I mean, but it sounds like if Harris is there, they're locked in on him. I've been reading a lot of reports on that. It makes sense. It fills a huge need. I understand a lot of people would not be happy about that, but the big thing is Mike Tomlin is still a big believer in a feature back. That is who he is now. I mean, that's honestly what he's always been. That's why they drafted Le'Veon Bell, right? And obviously it didn't work out with paying him, but that showed that they are a big believer in a feature back. So Najee Harris, feature back. Mike Tomlin, big on Alabama players. So, well, I mean, I wouldn't say he's like big on Alabama players, but he's drafted a few in the past. So, like I said, it's probably one of Dickerson, Harris, or that offensive tackle that you said. It seems like they're very high on all 3 of those guys.
Yep.
If Harris is not there, I think Dickerson's the pick. I really think that they'll go with him, even though there's a lot of injury scares there. Tomlin was also signed to an extension this week. My thoughts on that? My thoughts, I'm kind of in the middle. I understand that a lot of Steelers fans don't like him. I understand a lot of Steelers fans that say, hey, he hasn't had a losing season. My thing was, it's okay. It's great that he hasn't done that, but where's the next step here, right? We haven't won a lot in the playoffs in recent years with really good rosters. now is the time to start winning games in the playoffs when your team is still pretty good. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. We don't just want to go 9-7, 10-6, 11-5 and be one and done in the playoffs. I mean, forever, this team has been, Super Bowl or bust. That's what this franchise is all about. They always say the standard is the standard there. The Rooney family they've said that forever too. So what I would have personally done is make this almost like a make or break year from him. He had 1 year left on his contract. See how the team does. If they go a little far in the playoffs and they surprise some people, extend him. It's not hard. He'll obviously accept. If not, maybe you think about cutting ties with him because Ben Roethlisberger is retiring after this year. But it's obvious that they think they're going to have him here in the next step of Steelers football, which is a bit risky, especially with Big Ben not there. So how can he really do without some of those core guys, especially Ben there? That's going to be the big question. This really divided Steelers Twitter, I think. And Mike Tomlin would have a job in 30 seconds if he were fired. Everyone knows that. That. Yeah. He's one of the coaches in football. It's just I don't think I would have done this extension just yet, even though I do think he is a good coach. It's just because of how the last few years have gone, especially with how embarrassing these last couple playoff games have been. They gave up 45 to Blake Bortles, gave up 40 or more points to Baker Mayfield and the Browns team that didn't even have Odell Beckham out there. So I understand Big Ben had a really bad game, but the defense also played like shit too. So that's just my personal thoughts on it. Obviously Art Rooney believes in him. We'll have to see if he's making the deathbed or if he's outsmarting everyone, including probably half this fan base. But those are my thoughts on everything Steelers related. Is there any Ravens thing you want to talk about? Is there any draft rumors with them?
Yeah, no, I think that I'll talk a little bit more draft a little bit later. But the two big news, one, this kind of segues into the Ravens, but they had was Alejandro Villanueva coming for a visit yesterday. So, and this kind of leads into the second story as well. So the main thing here is really just draft prep, but also the player, if we want to keep in the next week or so, is Orlando Brown. So I can mention the fact that the Ravens. Well, before I do that, the other news story that wasn't concerning Orlando Brown in the offensive line is that Lamar, J.K. Dobbins, Mark Andrews, Hollywood Brown, and Sammy Watkins are now in Arizona. They're practicing. They're working with each other. So it's good that we're seeing that. I mean, it's a little disappointing that that Duvernay, Prochet, and Boykins aren't there yet, but more so Boykins. But they might have a good reason. So we don't know anything about that yet. But going back to the offensive line story, they brought in Alejandro Villanueva. He, you know him more than I do. He is
not good.
I'm guessing there's two uses for him. One, he's going to be a swing tackle mainly for the first half of the year. Then that's where most of his impact is going to be because obviously Ronnie Stanley might not be 100%. Orlando Brown's most likely going to be traded, so you need a veteran presence there. And DJ Fluker's now with the Dolphins. I don't know why they went after Dolphins went over Fluker and Skura, but they did. We'll see what happens. Let's move on. But so you have Villanueva, who's actually pretty good. I mean, pass protection isn't bad. The run thing, I know the run protection is where a lot of people and Steelers fans are excited if he signs. I will also say this: 2 years ago, you had the two quarterbacks he was protecting. People were making Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer jokes, and also the other quarterback they had could have been an extra on Duck Dynasty. So you basically have, he wasn't great, and then you had the Mike Munchak. I believe he went to Tennessee a couple years ago. So as their offensive line coach, so a lot of his decline a couple years ago could have been explained by that. And then Ben is not the most mobile guy, so I'm not sure about whether a mobile quarterback can hide the weaknesses of an offensive line better than an immobile one. So I'm not going to say that having potentially protecting a guy like Lamar, who's far more mobile than Ben, is going to hide Villanueva's weaknesses. And then the other thing is that, remember, we got Kevin Zeitler as our right guard. And then we have Bradley Bozeman and Powers as our left guard. Those are good run blockers as well. So potentially putting Villanueva next to those guys could probably help him. And like I said, the mobility of the quarterback, we don't know if that has an impact on offensive line play. So he's not a long-term answer. He's a 1 or 2 year answer. He's basically our right tackle's unhappy. We're going to trade him. We're going to get a right tackle of the future. But at the same time, we need we're in a Super Bowl window, so we need a veteran experience. So we're going to bring in Villanueva because I think Mitchell Schwartz will go back to Kansas City, and then after that, there really isn't much there. Like Ricky Wagner, but he's he was considering retirement. So Villanueva is the best option for a veteran tackle. So I seen it. So that are my thoughts on him. And then with Orlando Brown, I think he's getting traded. I think that he's getting traded for sure. He does not want to play right tackle. He wants to play left. And I think personally, he wants to be paid like one, which is why I think we haven't heard about a trade just yet. And then also, I think there's also gamesmanship here where they don't want to announce a trade too early where other teams can readjust their board. Because if they trade up to like 14, or let's say they trade up to like 13, right? And then you have a team like the Cardinals that could be looking for a receiver. Now they have time to adjust their board. But if you just give a draft day surprise, which is the Ravens move from 27 to like 13 or 27 to 14 or maybe even 27 to 8 if Eric DaCosta can fleece the Panthers GM, you're now potentially messing up other teams' draft boards because the Ravens could go edge, they could go tackle, they could go receiver, and personally, if you move them into the top 10, top 15, that would have a similar effect as the 49ers trading all those picks for the third overall pick. It changes the draft board completely. So I think that he will get traded. I don't know what the price would be. I know he said that he basically wants 20 draft picks over the next 2 years. So I've seen a lot of people mention that they might do a pick swap. Like unless he's getting a number 8 overall pick, he's not doing a pick swap because right now the Ravens have 7 picks. A pick swap, all it would mean is, or he picks at 13, whatever, and then he picks at 58. I don't think Eric DaCosta wants that. I think what's more likely is he's probably going to take a lower end pick and a first round pick, and then take that second first round pick and then trade down to get a second and a third. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this affects the draft strategy. I think to me, and I think we'll go into the mock when we go into the mock draft part of this. When we go into the mock draft, this is kind of relevant because to me, I thought that receiver or edge is a primary need. I think now is tackle. I think even if you keep Orlando Brown for half the season, if you can get a Tevin Jenkins, if you can get a Darrisaw for about 4 or 5 years, and then you have Zeitler for 3, you have a guy like Quinn Miners in the second.
That's a big need for the Steelers too. They're looking at that. That's who it was that you said, Tevin Jenkins. I think they're the ones eyeing him at 24 as well. So, but I think both the Steelers and Ravens might go after him.
Dolphins could as well. I mean,
yep.
So, do you want to go? We can briefly talk about like where we think about where our thoughts on Darrisaw.
I think he's going in the top 20. I don't think he may even makes it to the Steelers at 24. I truly believe that.
Yeah, and then so what we'll do is and then Farley, I think he's going to be first or second rounder. I think the back injury was perfectly they said that it was fine. And then Deablo is the fourth rounder, fifth rounder, and then Herbert's probably a fifth or sixth rounder.
Yeah, he's in the tier 3 of running backs, I think, in this draft.
Yeah, all right, yeah. So let me just set up this mock draft here, and then we'll do 7 rounds. So we're going to do something interesting here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a mock draft, and then we're going to put it on a scoring scale to see how close we are. So if we get the right player, right round, we're going to get it at it's going to be 3 points, and then if we get the right position, it'll be half. We'll work out the scoring scale, but basically this is just an exercise to see which one, how well we know our team's draft strategies. So, share screen. Yeah, work. Chrome tab here. And then share. And then, okay, so do you see it?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move the position value, random, more, and we'll do fast speeds. And then what we're going to do is we're not going to do trades. So because trades are so unpredictable, I don't feel like doing that. So do you like all this stuff like speed?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do that. All right, enter draft. Okay, and start draft. Okay. Okay, so let me go here. All right, so let's see. Filter. Let's go running back.
See who's there.
Harris is here. Yeah, so you think they go Harris?
He's there. It's Najee.
All right. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I think the Ravens, they've mentioned all this time that they want to go O-line. Let's see, Walker. Okay, great. So, wow, Tevin Jenkins is there. Great. So I think they go Tevin Jenkins. Let's see. Okay, where do you think they go round 2?
Go to the Can you go to the offensive line? Oh, yeah, there. I think it's Dickerson.
All right, they go Dickerson. Okay.
If he is there and they take Harrison round 1, which who knows? If he is there, I think they nab him.
All right, so you think okay? So they go Dickerson. Okay, cool. All right, so now Ravens. So okay, so this is where it gets interesting. They have Diami Brown. They could go Jamar Johnson. I think they go Quinn Miners. I know he comes from a smaller school, but this is a guy that plays like a. This guy plays like a Raven. And
like a Raven.
Yeah, and think about you got Seidler, you got Miners who's a nasty player at center. You got Tevin Jenkins. I mean, that's a pretty good O line with Bozeman at guard and Stanley at. All right, so where do you think the Steelers go round 3?
Go to the corners.
Let's go to the filter.
They actually might go corner here. Is Justin Lane got arrested today?
Right. They go in.
Honestly, I think I've seen. No, scroll up. I've seen Kelvin Joseph like mock to them a little bit. I think they might nab him if he's there.
Which one?
The first guy, Kelvin Joseph. I've seen him mocked there to Pittsburgh a couple times.
Sure.
And I think they'll take a tackle in round 4.
All right. So basically, all right. So I already got a tackle. I got center. Now, all right. So let's see. The Ravens like to go best player available. Let me just. All right. Diamond Davis. Okay. All right. So guard. Let's see. D line. Brady Christensen, Kate Johnson, Joe Forsyth. Okay. Tremble. Ooh. Tommy Tremble could be interesting here because I could see the Ravens needing a third tight end. Trey Brown, Deablo, I think it's too early. I'm gonna go and say they're gonna continue to surprise. Let me see this. It's either him. Because with the interior, here's the thing: with the interior D line, they have a bunch of older players.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. And last few years, they have went ahead and they have taken they've taken play they have taken D line players like guys who can play in the trenches like Matt BK and those guys. So I'm going to say Tremble's also a good tight end. I'm going to say they take. I'm going to say they continue to build on that D line. I'm going to say they take Milton Williams from Louisiana. But unless, let me see. Is there a certain guy from BYU they have? Because I think that he's a guy that will fit the Ravens. Milton Williams, Bobby Brown, John Marshall. Okay, Kyrus. Okay, we can get Kyrus Tonga later. I think they go Milton Williams. Yeah. Basically, so he would replace. He could be a Brandon Williams, or he could be a. All right. So
I think
Steelers.
they take the best tackle available in this pick. They're probably going to go in for their picks. It's going to be running back, cornerback, tackle, and a center. That's how I see it.
Brady Christensen, Stone Forsythe. I've heard. Hey, here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. And I didn't. Zach Wilson is going to go into the top 5. So here's what I think. So Zach will, and you don't have to take this advice, but Zach Wilson will go in the top 5. And I listened to someone on YouTube channel. If you see a quarterback going top 5, look at their offensive line. So I'll just give you a hint there. Why Brady Christensen could be.
He might be the pick there. Yeah.
And he's again a little bit older now. Okay. Now I see the Ravens going receiver. So I know this is going to piss off a ton of Ravens fans. I know this is going to piss off a ton of Ravens fans, but I see them going receiver around 4. Let's see, Amari. I'm so tempted to go with Amari Rogers because he's T. Martin's son, and T. Martin is now with the Ravens. I'm going to say they take Amari Rogers, even though the height is there.
But the best player available for the Steelers here. I mean, you could do an offensive outside linebacker. There have been so many weirdos that trying to mock an OLB to the Steelers at 24. I'm like, do you not look at this team's needs?
So let's go pass rush then.
Yeah, it's
so you want to go pass? You want to go
best player available for them here at this point. They have all their big needs taken care of.
All right. So where are they in the linebacker situation?
I mean, they have Vince back, T.J. Watt. They have Alex.
What about this guy, Jamin Davis, linebacker from.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them taking him as a little bit of a support for Devin Bush and Vince Williams. So he's the best player available. So.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So Jamin Davis. All right. Okay. Let's see who's out there. They go in Jalen Darden. All right, so they got. Last time I checked, it was receiver. So let's see. So this guy's slot. Let's see, 5'9". Super. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to say they go here with Trey Brown, and the reason why I'm going to say Trey Brown is because we do have what's the guy's name? Tavon Young. However, the issue with Tavon Young is he always gets hurt. Trey Brown is a great slot corner. So he would essentially be a backup to Tavon Young, or if Tavon Young ever gets hurt. Okay. So Ravens not picking 184. I don't think I've taken an edge just yet. All right, so this is where I'll take edge. I'm going to take Patrick Jones the second. How well did he play against Virginia Tech?
I don't remember too much, honestly.
But yeah, I'm going to go take Patrick Jones second. And then there's no more picks for Pittsburgh? Or let me check. No, I'll take it later. And then
I don't think so.
Already got D-lineman. I already got center with minors. I got now you got to go safety. I didn't take I didn't take Tremble, right?
No.
Okay, yeah. So I'll take Noah Gray, and I think we both know Noah Gray. Because Noah Gray is a pretty good tight end.
Yeah, he is. He actually is.
All right.
Here's one more pick. I don't even know who they take here, man. It's round 6. I don't know the draft well enough for this, to be honest.
Hold on.
I actually don't.
That's what I'm trying to figure out here, because you got your running back, so you don't need that. You got your center.
Yeah.
You got your corner.
I have no clue, man.
Where's your tight end situation looking like?
And they have Ebron and the other guy. I mean, Is there? I'm just trying to see here. Is I'm trying to see. I'm just looking here. Um,
And you got a tackle, right? So you got Brady Christensen, you got Dig. Okay, you
is,
got a guard, right?
is Christian Uphoff there? I've been reading a lot that people have mocked him there. He's a safety.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, good to tell you. Let's see, safety. Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, I think I could see them taking him as like a backup kind of player.
And then you have 2 more picks. So I'm just curious, like you're not going to take a quarterback or
No, not here.
so
No, there's a guard from BYU, Tristan Hodge, if he's there. Hoge. Yeah, him. I've seen him being mocked. And then I honestly don't even know here.
all this. Okay, so center no, H back no.
No,
So you're gonna you steal Bushman. Like Bushman could be a possibility. Well,
yeah,
they could go Bush.
I could see that. Yeah, if you want to do that one, yeah, sure.
So basically, let's take a look. I will take a picture of this and then okay, so overall PFF basically says
A B for both teams.
yep. But yeah, so where is it? Where stops me share? Okay, good. Yeah, so basically we have what we think the Ravens Steelers would do. After the show, I'm going to go and write a record or take a picture of it and then I'll see what the scoring scale is. It's just gonna be like half a point based on like conference, based on teammate, position, round, stuff like that. But so that's pretty much what we'll do there. So let's move on. Let's just briefly talk about a couple of things for Virginia Tech. What are your thoughts on this Reach for Excellence campaign?
It's about damn time they pony up some money to upgrade some of these facilities. Castle renovation pictures, dude. Wow, that looks great. Um, did you read the article from Chris Coleman of Tech Sideline? I put it out on my Twitter.
Yeah.
He's right. We need to start ponying up some money. If you want to be like Clemson, they asked for money and their donors and their fan base gave them it. And that's why they're one of the biggest reasons why they're so good now. Now
remember they weren't good like for like the early 2000s. They weren't like the powerhouse they are now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now VT is finally trying to catch up to them and they're asking the fans for support. And you got to put your money where your mouth where your money where your mouth is, I guess is how I'm trying to say it. It's just these renovations look awesome. I think they're doing stuff to the football facility that look great. I'm really excited. It's like what $400 million total.
Yeah.
They're trying to
yes.
Yeah, and like I get it, they're trying to be in the upper third of the ACC. They have the athletic programs to support it. I mean, their baseball team is really good this year. I believe their softball team is really good. I think their soccer team is really good. Obviously, they had an NCAA champion with wrestling. They're known for football. The basketball program is on the upswing. It's about damn time they're pushing this initiative, and now all they need is, like I said, for the fans, put the money where your mouth is and donate to the school. And that they're also going to have more money for a recruiting staff, which is huge for in-state players. They're going to have more money to pay the coaches, everything else. It's so huge. This has been a long time coming, and I'm really excited that the school is finally putting a lot more money towards the athletics.
Yeah, no, and yeah, so you're right. It is 400 million. So I believe it's 30 million for recruiting, assistant coach salaries, quality coaches, player development, and capital needs.
Yeah,
it's 75. So it's 50. Okay, so Castle Coliseum. At first, when I saw the picture, I was like, "What changes are they making?" But then I saw more of it. Like I guess there's like a bar there at certain points, and it's more. I guess they're gonna modernize some of the materials, but it's 50 million is going to be privately spent on Castle Coliseum, which I think is going to be really cool. with Babcock he said he wants to raise the athletic budget from 100 million to 125 a year per
Mhm.
year. It was 63 about 7 years ago. So he's clearly putting his money where his mouth is. And then Drive for 25 initiative, I believe, has increased to 25,000, and he wants to raise about 20 million annually. So here's the thing about Tech fans. It's interesting because they say, well, we don't. It's like it was when with Fuente when his job was on the line. It's like we want like a high end coach, but it's like the high end coach. Like keep in mind, you're going to have to pay a lot of
Yes,
money for a guy like the guy from Clemson, Tony
yeah,
something.
I agree.
Yeah. So, but you ask them, hey, donate money, and then they say no, we're not going to donate money, but you donating money is the way that we're going to get high end coaches and assistant coaches in the future, and recruiting and all that's going to improve. So it's really interesting how they want the end result without actually the work to get to that point. So I would say that it's definitely it sets them up pretty nicely that in the event that Fuente is not he proves that he's not the guy for the job like once again, then
Mhm.
I would say that they definitely have the cachet to go after um the the offensive coordinator from Clemson or someone else,
Exactly.
or even Luke Fickle now could be in play if this were to happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, like, yeah, this was big for the school, just for a lot of money towards the athletic department. Badly needed, especially with football. That's the bread and butter of this school. Now that they have more money going towards it, this should hopefully yield better results. Especially with, I mean, I know the coaching has to get the players developed, but especially with recruiting, I know we're going to get to that probably right now. That was a big time commitment that they got this week. I know it's a 3-star, but it's probably a lot of the quarterbacks doing that they just got, and
Yeah.
hopefully this leads to more big time recruits coming. I read last night in the Terror Dome that they are still in a really good shape with Gunnar Givens. So our tackle class could be really good coming in.
Yeah, and that's the thing we need to keep in mind because we did lose a ton of people in the transfer portal, and of course, Darrisaw through the draft
Mm-hmm.
in our offensive line. So that's definitely something interesting. That's something that's going to be worrisome. We need to replenish. Then also the considering the fact that we have successful run-based team, like we have a mobile quarterback, so the offensive line and the blocks are going to be absolutely huge. Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
don't have Khalil Herbert. Blackshear is not. He's not a slouch. Jalen Holston's not a slouch. I mean, we've had what like 100 different running back commits the last 2 years.
There's a lot. This is what it is.
Yeah, and then going back to the recruit, I know that was it
He's
Johnny
from
Dixon?
Beach.
Yeah, Johnny Dixon, 6'3", 280 guard. He's rated .87, so he's like a high 3-star, low four. He could be a four.
Almost a 4-star recruit. Yeah, it's close.
Yeah. What's really interesting is that he's lived in Virginia for a little bit. So he lived in Virginia and went to Texas. Now he's going to Virginia Tech. So it's like how they have the whole Texas to Texas to
Yeah.
VT tag. So like VA to Texas to VA campaign.
He played football with Tony Grimes in Virginia Beach. So when he was in middle school and parts of high school. So he knows the area well. And, I think that was probably one of the biggest reasons he went to Tech is because he's from Virginia. So.
You know, you know what, Mike? One player that might have improved our in-state recruiting.
Who?
The guy from Clemson, Jordan Williams.
Yeah, that's a big one too. He's from Virginia originally. He came back for his last year, so hopefully he's pushing some more people in state to come with him.
Yeah, and all this. Let me just bring up this guy. There's this guy Raleigh Collins. I don't believe he's been offered yet, but he is the number 2 cornerback in Pennsylvania. He is a 6'4", 190 corner.
Oh wow, jeez.
No, I don't think he has an offer yet, but he seems to be pretty highly rated. Uh, do you what I think if Tech offers, I could definitely see him doing that. There's definitely some interesting players that could. I mean, I'm just looking at like 247, and they're pretty much just repeating the same thing I said. Like the funding that we have now puts a guy like Luke Fickle or Billy Napier in play, or I can't remember the guy's last name. The guy from Clemson, it was like Tony something.
I can't remember either, to be honest.
Yeah. So no. So that's basically what. So that's pretty much all we have to talk about today. We'll see you guys next week around 2 p.m. and we'll talk about who the what the Ravens and Steelers did in the first round and what we think they'll do in round 2 and round 3. So I guess we'll see you next week at 2 p.m.
This should be a good week with especially baseball too, and I can't wait for the draft next weekend. So I'll see you next week.
Yeah.